Here soon. There we go. Let everybody know they are being recorded. All right. So a lot of people are coming and going with their mock interviews. Those are rolling along here. People playing catch up. Week 3 is always transitional in that people are playing catch up. Midterms just happen. Realize we're getting down to the wire. Uh, this is the time to catch things up. Week 1 is already closed off. Come Sunday, if you have anything from week 2 that is not finished, that is the final day to be able to catch anything up from week 2. Uh, Last week, if you have things from week 2 you wanted to catch up, it's too late. So if you have anything that you need to catch up on from week 2, this is the week you're going to have to catch it up in. So week 3 is a big catch up week. So you're trying to catch up week 2, you're trying to do week 3. Uh, Next week, it's a short week. Monday, we have a holiday. Did y'all know that? Monday's a holiday. Woo! And so we have a long weekend. So next week we only have 3 days. 3 days. Y'all out there? Yay, 3 days next week. So that means catching up's going to be even more relevant. So class ends next Thursday at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, just to let you know what happens, IT starts shutting down the classes and locking everybody out. So if you're in the middle of something, you are booted out of the class. I cannot put in an extension after that because you can't get into the class. So I want everybody to be aware of that. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of the final exam, you will be kicked out of the final exam. So if you're in the middle of something, you are kicked out. So everybody is aware of that? Yes. So 10 o'clock next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday is the end of the class. So everything has to be in by then. All right. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. The reason why I chose the song that came in, if you were not aware, that is Sharp Dressed Man by ZZ Top. I asked you in the participation assignment, show me what you would wear. And y'all did incredible. Participation assignments. I'm getting questions from the campuses. Why are people not getting attendance? I have to let them know they're not turning in participation. They're not turning those in. So don't be surprised, not necessarily the people who are on the live call, but the ones who are not picking up the recorded sessions or whoever. Uh, Campuses are going to start calling people. They want to know. There are attendance requirements as well as grades, 65% to pass the course, or um, since it is a required course, you may have to come back around again. Uh, that's what required courses are. So we want to make this one and done for everybody. So let's get to getting, and that's what we're going to do. All right. Because this course is about you and it's about growing. And that's what we're doing. In case you haven't picked up on that quite yet, the stuff we learned in the very beginning, we are stacking it and we are applying it directly to how you do a career. Now, it sounds like a lot of work, but these things are coming in naturally. Okay. We, excuse me, we talk about your brand statement that represents who you are in one statement. We talk about your elevator pitch, that 30-second personal commercial. Remember, an elevator pitch is a personal commercial. It's a 30 to 60 minute or 30 to 60-second pitch about you. That answers, tell me a little bit about yourself. That goes at the top of your resume. It goes on your social media account. That pitch, that tell me about yourself, that is what you take into the interview with you when they ask you, tell me about yourself. So it has very practical applications. That's why we do it. You prepare so when you go into those interviews, you're not caught off guard. It's not a scary thing. It's not a stressful situation for you. So there's a reason why we do those. Then we asked you to interview somebody in your field. And now I know this sounds like repeating, but there's a reason for this. It's because I want you to see this process. We ask you to interview people in your field so you know when you go into these interviews with people and they start telling you things, you're like, yeah, the person I interviewed told me about this. You have a familiarity with the person you're talking to. Because how many people have talked to somebody and you have common ground? Anybody talk to somebody and you have a common ground with them and you feel comfortable talking with them because you have that commonality, right? And so when you go in and you've talked to somebody in the field and now you're interviewing with somebody in the field and you have that common ground, you feel more relaxed because you're like, yeah, I know this. I've talked to somebody in this field. This is not new to me. So you have that common ground. Am I right, Jacob? You get that commonality when you talk to somebody that you've talked to before? You feel more comfortable. So if you feel more comfortable in your interview, you're going to feel better about your responses. You're going to see it in your face. That relaxed atmosphere is going to go across to the person talking to you, and they're going to feel at ease. So there's a reason for this. Now, the second interview that we're having you do, we're having you talk to a member of management. You're going to get their side of things. Now, think about the logic in this. Who do you interview with? You interview with people in management positions, right? So if you can kind of see where they're coming from, again, you have a commonality, you have a familiarity. So when you're talking to them, maybe you might want to ask them, what do you do when you interview somebody? That might be a good question to ask them. Get their side of the interview. Do you think that would be a good idea? How many think that might be a good idea? Find out what it's like from their side. You know what it's like from your side. Ask them. This is the perfect time. Because I guarantee you, they don't like to interview people. Most of them hate it. They hate interviews as much as you hate going to them. So think about that. You're stuck in a room with somebody who hates being there as much as you do. So there's a reason why each one of these things happen. And so it sounds really big and really difficult, but when you break it down, these are actually very small pieces and they go together really well and it flows. Okay. Then we told you the questions that they can and can't ask you. They can ask you about your married life, your kids, and things like that. Those are illegal. They can't ask you, but they might do things that kind of trip you up. And so be aware of them. Then I gave you information on websites, and it's in your book as well, on where you can go to find out how much you should be paid for that position and how you can go to Glassdoor and find out what that particular company actually pays so you know when you get an offer if it's good. And you don't always have to take what they tell you. You can ask for more when you're at that time, when they actually give you that, and make sure it's in writing. and how to do research to ensure that that company is legit and you don't go to work for a couple of weeks only to find out you're not going to get paid. So all these things benefit you. So if you've been following along, you'll find out that so far you've learned how to keep yourself safe and how to make your interviews go better. All right. So that's where we've gone so far. But we still need to make ourselves a little bit more known. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about networking. Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit of sharing here. You know I am. And here we are. And I got the logo fixed there. So there's your link for the survey. I also sent it out via email and text. So please be checking your emails and texts. Um, I get messages from people, and it's quite obvious they aren't checking their emails and texts. I do send information out that might help you. So take the survey, fill out whatever information it is. It helps us, help students have better classes. All right. So here we are in week 3. And like I said in the informational interview, this week, all you do is give me the name and title, nothing more. Okay. Now, I don't want to hear um, generic things like a manager in a store. I need the name of the person. Okay. Things are getting a little bit tighter and they're going to be a little more strict. I need real information. Okay. I know when people are trying to bluff through and they really didn't do the assignment and they're kind of faking it along. Okay. The grading's going to get tougher. It is a college course. You're expected to do the work. So in here, I need the name and the title of the person. All right. Please do the work. The discussion, talk about your professional network. Went over this a little bit. Uh, Most people have already completed this, actually. They've gone in. Why is it important to have a professional network? You need leads, you need contacts, you need people. Excuse me, you hear the phrase self-made millionaire. Anybody hear this phrase? They're a self-made millionaire or I did it on my own. How many people have heard this? Okay. People who are really successful, when you see them take awards or you see them be successful or you see truly successful people, the first thing they do is they thank the people who got them there. Did you notice that? They thank the people who got them there. No one truly does it on their own. There is no army of one. People who feel like they've done it only by themselves, they're forgetting the people who helped them. All right. Everybody has help. You've had instructors, you've had coworkers, you've had spouses, you've had friends, you've had somebody along the way that has helped you. That is your network. That may be a social network, it may be a family network, it may be your professional network or the people who help you in your career. Now, they can still be family members. They can still be friends, but they helped you in your professional life as well. Okay. So there's an article in here that will help you define it. And it has 2 questions in it, 2 parts. Why is it important? And discuss 3 of the networking techniques that you would use. So 2 parts there. So please make sure you get both parts in there. And I need to increase my screen size here. Oops, there we go. All right. So that's something that's important. Now, the other thing that's in here is building an online presence. And that's where you Google yourself. And this is interesting because one thing to remember whenever you delete something out there on the internet, it never truly goes away. It may drop off Facebook, it may drop off Twitter, it never truly goes away. It can come back. It can be restored. It can be found. It never truly goes away. Do not put something out there that you don't want forever. We leave behind digital footprints. It never goes away. If you put it there, it can be found. So there's a thing here about positive online presence. Click on that and do an online search of yourself. See what you find, if you found anything. Some people do find things. Uh, I actually had somebody who found a MySpace account. I don't know if some people even remember MySpace. I never had one. That's how old it was. And it was pretty amazing that they actually had one and was able to go to it and found some stuff there. Okay. Now, we're going to be talking about online presence in general. For tomorrow, there's actually a LinkedIn profile that people will build. How many people have a LinkedIn profile already? Okay, Jacob has one. Anybody else? Okay, there's a couple more people. If you already have one, this assignment's going to be super easy for you. So what you'll do is you'll go into the assignment. You'll come down here and under text entry, you're going to paste the link to your uh, LinkedIn account right there, your profile. Okay. So that when I click on it, I can go find you. All right. So that's how easy it'll be for you. If you don't have one, what you're going to do is you are going to create one. And you need to make sure that you include the about section, the education section, your experience section, and your skills section. Each one of those sections is worth 20 points. So if you leave one of those sections off, you will lose 20 points. So please make sure that you go through here and do that. Okay? And that's what you'll do in LinkedIn. It doesn't cost to create a LinkedIn account or anything like that. And so then afterwards, you can delete the LinkedIn account. But if you create a LinkedIn account that's actually got good information in it, people in your career will come looking for you. It is a great way to socialize in your career, meet people in your career. It's not a dating app, it's not that type of network. Uh, and it's a way that you can job hunt in your career field. Okay. So this is a great way to do it. It is for businesses to look for people, and you can specify if you are looking for employment or not in there. So it's a great way to do this. Now, one of the things that was mentioned when we talked about resumes and that save your resume in a text format, not a Word format, not a PDF, and you can upload it into LinkedIn and it will format it out perfectly for you. That's why we save it in a text format, not a PDF format when you're uploading to different sites. All right. And then also Wednesday, you have the mock interview debrief. If you've had your mock interview, you click start assignment and you will answer these three questions. What interview questions were you asked? What did you learn from it? And what would you change about this interview experience to prepare for your next interview? In other words, what did you learn and will do differently for your next interview? Click text entry, type in the answer to those three questions. If you have not had your mock interview, you can't answer this, or if you don't have one scheduled and will not have one, you will not be able to answer this. Okay. So you won't be able to participate in that assignment. All right. So let's get on with our talk for tonight. So we are going to be talking about, was that this one I want to talk about? No, I got the wrong one. Hold on one moment. I got the wrong slideshow queued up here. Thought that one looked a little strange. Let me get the right one. Mhm. Here, I thought I had the right one, and I didn't. Take me just a second to get it. Talk amongst yourselves. That's not the right one. Okay, let me see if I can find this. I do apologize. Da, 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 da. Okay, I'll just reverse them and we'll go with this one tonight. And we'll just backtrack. Okay, so tonight, instead of the other one, we'll just talk about this one. All right, I'll reverse the lecture. And we'll talk about chapter 4 tomorrow. Okay, networking for your career. Let me switch to my pen here. Yay, and it is working. All right, so networking. Uh, we all hear the term over and over, and we may or may not know exactly what it is, when we do it, how we do it, and etiquette that is necessary while networking, because we always need to show respect when we're doing this. And LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, or online networking. So, networking is talking with people and establishing relationships that can lead to potential career and job opportunities. Okay. So, that is something that's really important. Potential career or job opportunities. Okay. And that can be done in meetings. That's a formal way, or informally with people you meet at work or social events. How many people have heard of big clubs, bars, sometimes outdoor events where they have social events to meet people in different careers? Has anybody ever heard of these? Couple of people? Yeah, it's become a big thing where different groups, different unions, things like that, they will have social gatherings for people in different careers just to get together. Medical careers, veterinary careers, electrical careers. Everybody in that career will get together in a location for a social gathering. They will talk, and it is a great place to network. Okay. And a professional network are a group of people who support you in your career and business endeavors. So you can have a social network and a professional network, but you can have people who fall into both. Now, we did this, we called it informational interviewing. How many people felt like they learned something from this informational interviewing so far? You did the one and you're getting ready to learn from a different source. Yeah, it is great. So when you're social networking or you're professionally networking, that is what you're doing. And it's a strategy. Okay. It is a strategy. You're asking for advice and direction rather than asking for a job. You're learning from them. You're getting so much good information that you can't get in a class. Okay. And this is what you get out of networking. Now, you can actually turn that into a job opportunity, but the main thing is you want to further your knowledge. You want to get that. Now, when you're networking, this is a big thing. Do not become a self centered networker that only receives information. You need to share. Okay. If you have information to help people, you need to do it. Okay. Reciprocate when possible. Always help people when you can. Because if you don't and you only take, you never give, you're going to become rejected. You come rejected in your career is dead. How many people know others that just take and take and take and don't give? Anybody work with these people? Yeah. You stop helping them. And then it becomes the thing, I am never going to help them again. Anybody ever do this? I am never helping that person again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do that. And look at this. When do you do it? Begins at pre-career stage and is permanent part of socialization. How many people are networking now? Jacob's fast becoming my favorite person tonight here. I don't have favorites, but Jacob's my favorite. He's fastest on the respond. Yeah, you are doing it now. Why? Why aren't you? Are you socializing among each other? That's networking. Are you socializing with your instructors? That's networking. Are you meeting people in your career? How many people are actively reaching out to people in their career? Anybody? Uh-oh. Why not? How many people are going to trade shows in their career? All right. That's networking. Okay. Where's my vet students? Any vet students on here tonight? Okay, vet students, you should be going to places with animals. Okay, any zoos, animal parks, uh, any shows, anything like that with animals, you should be meeting with people. You should be talking to veterinarians out there. You should be vocal. Okay, medical students, any medical students, any MAs. No MAs on. If there's MAs that will be on, you should be going to career fairs. They are everywhere, socializing and networking. Okay. And your networks are going to evolve over time. You're going to meet new people. You're going to reject people. Okay. That sounds harsh, but you will reject people over time. You're going to find you're not a good fit to network with them. They may not be the best person to network. Okay. Face to face networking, anytime people or groups get together, that's face to face networking. And it is conversation about career topics. Okay. Simple as that. Now, consider business cards. Now, the term business card, that sounds old school, but also called networking cards. Now, your networking card can't be digital. Did you know this? Anybody have business cards or a digital contact card? Does anybody have any of those? Okay, you can get them, you can make them, and you can flash it on your phone, and it can have a QR code too, so they can do that. Or you can airdrop it, etc. It doesn't have to be old school, it can be new as well. But the main thing is you don't want to have to sit there and type in your name. Let me type in your name. Let me type. You're not dating people, okay? You need to have a contact and you need to get it fast and kind of have in your head a list of questions to ask. What do you want to know about these people? Wait a minute, doesn't this sound like an interview? How many people think this sounds like an interview? Kind of sense, right? It is. You want something from these people, right? You want to know things. You want to hear about it. You want to go. How many people want a good career with money that makes them comfortable? Anybody want that? Yeah. I would like to be comfortable. I'd like to have money. I don't want to have to struggle every day. That's a good thing. It's okay to want these things. It's okay to want these. So here's a business card. Okay. Again, this does not have to be a paper card. It can be on your phone. Okay. And anybody play Halo? Because every time I see this, I think it says Master Chief. And so I'm sorry. I always read this wrong, and I'm thinking Betty is not Master Chief. I am sorry. And if you don't play Halo, you miss out on the joke. Okay, so Betty here. Look at here. She's got her phone number here, got email here, and got LinkedIn here, and has a website. Okay, but what's this down here? Look at that. Look at that right down there. What is that? That is a brand statement. Wow, brand statement. In one sentence, you know Betty is an experienced chef with a passion for creating outstanding food. Boom. Mic drop it. That tells you in a nutshell. A brand statement is one sentence. Okay. Now, this is fantastic. Now, if you're going to use a physical card, and physical cards are great because you can just hand it to somebody. Or you can, like I said, you can put a QR code right up here on it. Put a little QR code there, and they can scan it. But if they don't want to scan it, they can have a paper one. But there's a whole nother side to this, right? What can you use that other side for? You can put your soft skills. your hard skills, right? What else could you put there if you don't want to put that? Could you put your elevator pitch? You could put that on the back. That would tell them more. Notice there's no address. You don't put your address on there. But think about it. If you're going through and you're meeting 20, 30 people at one of these events, do you want to stand there and punch in your phone number and everything into somebody's phone or wait for them to do it? Or do you think they want to wait for you? No, they're going to skip you, but somebody else will have one. So this is how you put your name in front of somebody. Now, networking has etiquette, a fancy term for manners, right there. Etiquette, the art of using good manners. Okay. You may not care how people talk to you, but you need to care how you talk to others. Again, posture, standing properly, presenting yourself in a good light. Okay. Respect is always key. Speaking up is the way to speak. Notice when I talk, I try to smile as I talk because it forces you to project out. If you don't smile, you tend to mumble. So you talk with a smile, it forces you to speak out. Okay. So that's important. And with networking, you only invite people into your network with whom you're familiar. Okay. You don't just, oh, they're on somebody's list. I'm going to invite them. No, you need to be introduced. Once you're introduced, then invite them into your network. You don't cold call or just randomly throw yourself out to people. You are introduced, and that's how you add them into networking. Okay. And that's on the final. Only invite people with whom you're familiar. Be brief and polite to people. Introduce yourself. Let them know what you want. I want more information. I'd like to talk to you. I'm looking for employment. Now, years ago, you didn't tell people that you were looking for a job. That was bad. That was bad manners and it made you look lazy. Now you let them know in your personal elevator pitch, that personal computer or commercial. My name is so and so. I have this. I am seeking employment in the Orlando area in the electrical field, in the HVAC field, in the veterinary field, in this. You can tell them, I am looking for employment. Let them know. How many people feel awkward telling people that you're looking for employment? Anybody? Okay. It's all right. It's, it's okay. You may feel like, you know, I don't want to say less important or qualified when you come out of school or you like, um, it's called imposter syndrome. Has anybody ever heard of this? Anybody heard of imposter syndrome? One. Okay. Imposter syndrome is where you feel like you may not know how to do the job. Okay. Anybody feel like that? That you're not sure if you can do the work? Okay. Let me assure you, everybody kind of goes through this. School is kind of a safety and a comfort. And when you go out there for the first time, now you're kind of being tested. Like this is the big test. Finals, things like that. Those were nothing. This is kind of the big test. Your employers kind of know this. They understand this. I always tell you, I believe in you. I need you to believe in yourself. There's a reason why I believe in you. I have no reason to not. Your employers will believe in you too. They have no reason to not. You are putting doubt on yourself that doesn't need to be there. So breathe, look back at what you've accomplished and push forward. Okay? You can do this. And letting somebody know that you are seeking employment is part of that. I am ready to stand on my merits. I'm ready to stand on my knowledge. I am ready. What do you have for me? And you move forward. You can do this. And by doing this in a networking situation, it will make it easier when you go into that interview because networking is more casual. It's more formal when you go into the interview. Okay. So when we network, and this is more of a formal social setting when you're going purposely to network. So think about this when you go to a trade show. Think about how you're going to dress. Dress appropriately for the trade you're going into. Okay. Dress nice for that occasion because you're purposely going to network. So don't go in dressing sloppy. Go in dressing for the purpose of networking. So dress appropriately. Make sure you're there not 5 minutes before the place will be closing down. Okay. Make sure your phone's quiet because you don't want to be disturbed while you're talking to that person. Eye contact. No slang or unprofessional language. Watch the foul language. Keep it professional. Offer and request a business card. It's like an informal interview. And when you have that person's business card, look at this. Send a follow up email. Remember, you're putting yourself in front of that person more than once, over and over. Okay. We are doing this so that we stick in their head. We email them afterwards, thanking them for taking time to talk to us. Now, online, that's often the internet. That's pretty much it. Online, it's the internet to connect with them. And there's benefits to it. So, what are some of the benefits? You don't have to be as out there. You can type. Okay, you can connect. But there's also problems with that. Some of us may not spell correctly, or we don't phrase things correctly, or we hit send before we realize we typed something we shouldn't have. So be careful with online networking. And when we do online networking, we tend to do it through LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are different types of online networking. And when we do online networking, be positive, be professional. Do not put anything negative out there because what happens when you put something negative? It's going to be copied, it's going to be screenshot, and it's going to come back to bite you. Okay? It will come back. Do not flood someone's email account. If they don't respond, drop it. Okay? And again, avoid inviting strangers to join your network. Invite people that you know or you are positive is a good person to join the network. Don't just randomly choose people. Now, LinkedIn is a professional networking site. It's a solid site. It's a great site for getting to know people in your career. And it's considered a freemium site. That means it's free, but you can pay for other services. We are using the free services. Okay. Now, the great thing about using it is there are jobs that are only available through LinkedIn. If you don't have LinkedIn, you don't have access into these jobs. Now, the first part is the headline. Now, the headline, that is your name, your job title, or the title of the job you want. Your geographic location. Okay, now that means like you're in Orlando, you're in Tampa, you're in Brandon. Do not put your street address. Okay, your industry. Where are you working? Okay, so you have your name, you have your location, your industry, and a professional picture, something that looks like you are a professional. If you have a professional looking picture, you are more likely to get hits on your site. That would be a headshot, which is shoulders to the top of the head. Okay. The about section. This is where you put your elevator pitch, your experience. This is your work history. Your education is self explanatory. Skills and endorsements. Put your most important skills. Okay. That's how you fill this out. Now, again, this will work for you. People will start seeking you out. Okay. So check with it often. Now, Twitter. The purpose of Twitter is to follow job posts, ideas, stories, opinions, and information. It has kind of fallen apart over the years. Okay. And your tweets are 140 characters. So you're broken up. I am not a fan of Twitter because of the way it has evolved. Okay. It was actually supposed to be for more professional use. Everybody has their opinions on Twitter, and you can either set up an account on it, www.twitter.com, or through the app. Okay. And then you connect through people that way. We do not set up an account in here. That is strictly up to you. Okay. So that is strictly up to you and how you want to go from there. Instagram. Now, people may not think of Instagram as a way to promote themselves. It is mobile centric, meaning it is made for phones. It is perfect for phones and is used to share pictures and videos. But people may not think about it for their career. Those in the electrical welding careers, things like that, this is a great way to show off your skills. Welding, you can show how you do your welds, etc. Electrical, show how well you do wiring, etc. HVAC, you can show off incredible systems that you've done or when you've done a before and after. All these things you need to make sure that you have the ability to display the photos of where you work, because there are some places that they don't want you to show photos of their locations, places like Universal and Disney, etc., or inside hospitals or other organizations. They don't want their buildings photographed inside. So you might have to take that into consideration. Anybody that's in the veterinary field, if you are working in wildlife rehab, you have to be very careful with Florida wildlife. Florida wildlife regulations will not allow you to publish photographs of certain endangered animals during their rehab process. You can be fined if you do so. So be careful if you are working with endangered animals, what you post. Check with whoever's in charge of your facility what photos you post, and you may not have been aware of that. So, when you're working with Instagram, you can use it to promote your business and further your career, but be careful of which photos you show and which ones you don't. Also, remember any photos taken in public, you do not have to have people's permission to publish those. All right? You can publish and you can take those. Everybody good so far? Yes, yes. We still got everybody? Yes, yes. So now we've gone through a lot of topics. And remember when I told you business is in it for business and you always have control over your career? Remember I've told you this? Anybody? Told you you control your career and business is in it for business, right? So I want you to think about tonight's question, because at first it sounds very simple, but this one really does go a little bit deeper than that, okay? Because there's a lot of parts to it when you think about how your decision will impact you if this happened, all right? And I want you to think about why a business could do something like this. Is everybody ready? Yes? Everybody ready? Okay, so here it goes. I make you the following offer. I will hire you and your best friend to work for me at $30 an hour each, or I will hire only you at $50 an hour and your best friend will not have a job. Your best friend will not know about the offer, just who is hired or not. Which offer would you take and why? So will both of you work for $30 an hour? Or will only you have a job at $50 an hour? Now, this is more than it seems at the beginning, because a company could save $10 an hour. You might end up with twice as much work. You might have a best friend with deeply hurt feelings because they didn't get a job, but they won't know why. Or you might feel guilty that you sold your friend out, but you get 20 more dollars an hour. So think about this. This covers some ethics issues. It covers what you do for what's best for you. It also covers how the company is doing what's best for them. So there's more to this than what you might think at first. So which offer would you take and why would you take that? So that is your question for tonight. All right. So it's a little bit of a thought question there. I want you all to think about that. And that is it for tonight. Please get the answer to that question in by 10 o'clock. I want everybody to get that 100 points, and I want everybody to have attendance as well. All right. Any questions before we leave tonight? Everybody good? Everybody good? Yes, yes. All right. That is it for tonight. We will see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Y'all have a great evening.